So for those who are hoping the refresh we got this year with the AirPods Max was a stopgap product and a bigger refresh was on the horizon, well, I have some not so great news for you guys, because for the foreseeable future, Apple has no plans to update AirPods Max. According to Mark Gurman, there are no concrete plans as of now to update AirPods Max in any meaningful way. And I know there might be some saying that, oh, of course, there's no new model because we just got a new model this year. But here's the thing, guys. That new model isn't really all that new. Apple literally changed the ports, added some new colors, and called it a day. And by literally not changing anything apart from a new port and some new shades, these $550 pair of headphones are still technically worse than AirPods Pro and also the new $129 AirPods 4, since this has the older H1 chipset. Now you're probably thinking, oh, that won't make a massive difference, they're basically the same. But no, let me stop you right there, because they're not the same. H1 does not support big features like adaptive audio, conversational awareness, personalized volume, voice isolation, and support for the wake words, and that is quite a chunk of features that I love using with AirPods Pro that these much more expensive headphones seemingly won't support. And remember, these are existing features. Apple just announced a hearing aid feature for AirPods Pro that's also very cool and could change lives, but guess what? That's not coming to the Maxes as well. So how does this make sense? You know what does make sense though? Subscribing to the channel, of course. It's free and it will bring you the latest about Apple right to your subscription box, so please consider it. It would be appreciated. Join the saranbyte gang now. Anyways, it's really weird this did not get H2, because surely it would be cheaper and simpler for Apple's supply chain to use H2 across the entire AirPods range. Also, on average, Apple updates every AirPods model every 3 years or so, and so for them to literally do nothing with the Maxes but give it USB-C nearly 4 years later is ludicrous. And remember that Apple's giving these USB-C in the first place because the EU's mandating this, and so if they're going to bother changing the design ever so slightly to give us a new port in the first place, they should have given us other upgrades. I know AirPods Pro last year did not get an update apart from a new port, but that's because they were already refreshed back in 2022. Unlike AirPods Max, which was last refreshed in 2020, that's a long time ago, which is crazy to think about considering it feels like COVID just happened. But anyways, I am very disappointed, guys. At the very least, if Apple could not be asked to change anything, they could have given us a price cut, but no, they have the audacity to charge the same bloody price for these. And so if you're in the market for new over-ear headphones, just get the old Maxes because they're literally the same, but of course are available for much less. Now, since Apple fumbled big time with this refresh, let me mention the kind of upgrades I was actually hoping to see. The first change I was hoping for is better battery life. In fact, if we saw a jump to H2, that alone would have improved the endurance by around 1 to 2 hours. And so it's a shame the battery stats did not change, because I think it's an area where AirPods Max could be better. Now yes, if you go on Apple's site, you will notice the Maxes do destroy the other AirPods, which seems impressive, but then you realize that's just because they're bigger, and so of course they're better. If you compare them to other headphones on the market like the Sony XM5s, these do fall a little short. Specifically, it's offering 10 hours less of endurance, and so it's time Apple matches the competition in this aspect. Audio upgrades also would have been appreciated. I mean, I know AirPods Max are good, but it's not like the competition has stayed still in this aspect. They have caught up, and so it would have been nice to see ANC and also new drivers that improve sound quality. And so yeah, there's a lot of things Apple missed out on with this refresh. And also, how did we not get a new case? Everyone basically agreed on the fact the original pair had a shockingly horrific smart case that wasn't really smart because it offered no protection whatsoever to the actual headphones. And surprisingly, Apple did not address this at all. The same stupid bra case is here unchanged, and what's crazy is that we saw patents of a more traditional case that gave me some hope that Timothy had come to his senses, but I guess he then realized that he's a cheapskate who doesn't want to spend the R&D developing a new case. Because hey, who wants a more traditional case that actually protects your headphones when you can force consumers to put up with this crap instead? Wow, Apple, very cool. Also, I just realized it would have been very cool to see the U1 chipset in either a new case or the actual headphones themselves, just so you can track them if they go missing, and it's been available on the Pros for a while now, so it's bizarre once again Apple cares so little about their most expensive pair of headphones. Another thing I'm also surprised Apple did not address is better water and sweat resistance. Now I know AirPods Max aren't really made for workouts, which is the sole reason headphones usually get IP ratings. These bad boys are hefty, and so whilst you could do curls with them, they're not really ideal as gym headphones. But why I bring this up is because there is a condensation issue the current pair have, and so maybe to protect the internals, I was under the assumption the new pair would get an IP rating because no one wants their very expensive headphones to randomly stop working because of a bloody design flaw. But guess what? Apple has not talked about this at all, and so we have no idea if the issue has been resolved or not. It probably hasn't, considering the hardware is mostly the same. And so what the heck are you guys doing over there at Cupertino right now? Do you want these headphones to have a short lifespan on purpose? Actually, knowing Apple, they probably do, because that gets you to buy new ones, but it still blows my mind they haven't sorted this out. I've actually seen many complain about the reliability of the OG Maxes, and so clearly there's a lot of modifications that need to be made to make these last longer, but they did nothing. But who cares about your $550 headphones randomly giving up on you when the colors are so cool, right? We have Midnight, Blue, Purple, Orange, and Starlight, and I am happy to see an orange pair of AirPods Max. They look snazzy, but I'm not going to let Apple trick me with the colors this time, especially when, of course, nothing's really changed. Oh, also AirPods Max are finally getting personalized spatial audio support via software updates, but that does not make up for the plethora of other features it misses out on. Also, funnily enough, while these do have USB Type-C now, they lost the headphone adapter that came in the box with the original pair because you gotta save the environment and reduce packaging, and so technically there is one less thing in the box now, which makes it worse value than the original pair. So yeah guys, I think I've made my point clear by now. Please do not buy these. I know they're up for pre-order right now, but please do not pre-order them. They're not worth it at all. Clearly the Pro is the favorite child in the range, getting all the fancy features, whereas the Max is the poor neglected child, getting fed scraps. The only positive is that undoubtedly this will bring down the price of the original model, which can already be found for $350 or $300, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how cheap those could get. But hopefully within the next year or so we see a proper update to AirPods Max that actually gives us hardware changes. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and thank you for watching. So with the new base M4 MacBook Pro, Apple's basically fixed the biggest issue I had with last year's M3 model, making this terrific value at $15.99. What did they change exactly? Well, let's dive right in. Beginning with the design, there's not a lot different here because the M4 essentially is still using the same design language introduced in 2021, but this still feels like peak MacBook design. I really can't fault anything here, and yes, I know some are going to complain about the humongous notch, but it's a non-issue in my opinion. I usually forget it's there, and so I truly believe this design is perfect. This form factor especially offers the best balance, where it's portable enough whilst giving you some serious real estate, with that 14-inch panel. Coming from an M1 MacBook Air, the larger screen does actually make a difference.